Congratulations to you all and myself and all of our team members here on DAS Digital Assets Show. The 13th episode. Straight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. One full quarter. Wow. Top 2 things going on at the TV in the Federal Republic of America. Give a round of applause, everybody in the studio. Come on, man. We done it. They said we couldn't do it. We did it. On television. The biggest in Africa. DSTV. Channel 189. Pop Central. It has to be Pop Central. If you don't, House of the World of Life, I can do it. Maybe we'll start syndicating Pop Central to give you a hand up. I'm thinking so, right? 17 West African countries. All the West African countries that watching us right now. I'm so happy this is the year. And I remain Oluwasegun, the hosts with the most. The only show that takes you up that to the waiting ride of a fast-paced cryptocurrency. You know, industry, or should I say world ecosystem, whatever. BTC is here. What's the price of Bitcoin today? If you go straight to CoinMarketCap, what you will see is about $68,300. And today's date is the 9th day of March, Saturday, 2024. A few hours ago, less than 24 hours ago, Bitcoin was $17,000. When we started the show, what was Bitcoin price? On the 25th of November, 2003, we was hovering around 30-something before it's Did you buy Bitcoin? You got bought Bitcoin. You're in profit now. And it's all about profit. I've always told you guys, Bitcoin is like your father island house on Manhattan Street in cyberspace. On the internet. I mean, that's your fine house. Where you believe that you get. If war breaks out in the trading, and you reach that house in 10 seconds, and you fall out, boom, just. That's a you can get that house in 3 days. You believe that house is worth $1 billion. Huh? Tell me, if earthquake happens, would you be able to carry that to a big complex? Huh? Even the mineral resources in the ground, as beautiful as they are, blessed by God for us in Nigeria and all over the world, how many of them can we extract? We do even have access to extracting diamond, gold, and rest, and any rare system that just blessed us today. Buy Bitcoin for yourself. Don't miss making things work like some of our fathers did. Don't miss Banana Island like some of our fathers did. They told them to buy it. They didn't buy it. Some people even miss Jerry Ketchup. So wake up. Don't miss my time. Don't miss our support. Don't miss the right real estate in digital format. It's for your own good. It's not just money go up technology. I'm not telling you to go and be involving yourself in multiple things, derivatives of cryptocurrency that will hurt you. Stay on Bitcoin. It's my advice. Then you can boil the iron 2 times. Yes! Welcome back. Come back. Don't go away. Yes. It's digital as it should. I have 2 wonderful guests here. Right beside me is a beautiful man. She has the glasses. Second, you guys tell she has a very fine. The name is Monalisa, specialty acting some idols in the world. Welcome on my show, Monalisa and Abata. Monalisa and Abata is a blockchain enthusiast, I believe. But not just that, she helps companies grow their revenues. She really helps people grow. So the government here, your own business, and the state fashion to the south of the woods, anything Monalisa can help. And she's doing very, very well. Everyone's the event leads enough of this averages and this the education and we have this get that education in your eyes. And what you have to do with that part, right? That's what this happens. It's powerful for expression. Yes, so you're welcome.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Shego. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, listen.
Yes.
Have you been called crypto television show in Nigeria?
No, I haven't.
Why?
I'm not sure I really found one to be on, so it's something like we're doing here in City.
I'm back here. And to my far right is somebody that's been my friend for a while, more than I. And There's a way of Bitcoin kind of works. Or it connects you, or others person you are not really connected. It's something that people believe in with no extra anything attached, just as necessary of purpose. There's a name that's synonymous to something that's big African too. You say like two guests that's special. He has a name similar to one man who I really respect, one man who I also kind of always killed and politics is a Bitcoin game. Bitcoin real world really actually. This guy is Mr. Jonathan, all the way from the United States of America. Mr. Jonathan, he's a programmer, and he bought Bitcoin when it was just $18. What? Everybody, did you hear that? Did you hear that? On my TV on DSTV, Mr. Jonathan on Digital Asset Show. No one of us. First time in Nigeria?
First time in Nigeria. First time in Africa.
What?
First time on this African world. Yeah.
Wow. And how are you enjoying legacy?
I love everything. Like the contrast, the opportunity, just the beautiful black people. It's beautiful.
I love that. I love the beautiful black people. You love black people that just starts in it.
That's it too. Exactly.
We don't see no color here. The color we see when we see the white man. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, only sit there. Yeah. You're welcome there. The act that takes on our show.
Yeah. So of course I asked Joe. That's it. So they did fair, but if they just call suit.
Say
I know what I'm saying. It was like a stone, got fish.
yeah, might be. So we have multiple tribes of children. Yeah, with blessed with different type of medications. So yeah, like what I do is pound it down. I'm pounding it down. I just follow you where from your
Just like white soup.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm not Igbo yet, but I think I'm familiar with all of the South food,
Let's do it. So we have multiple tribes like you. You see how could the biggest them? I think you could be biggest. All right. It's not good. Okay. But at least,
So, like for those people that don't know what you call it, just a quick background. Just like, anyway, goes in the form of a Tesla type from, which is the way how we found Bitcoin and then the crossings and evidences, so I should point a little, and how they've been, higher in fighting states, just these are the picture and starts for missing.
Okay, happy to be here once again. Monalisa is my name. Abata. I've been in the crypto space consistently since 2019. I found Bitcoin the first time in 2016. I'll come back to that story. But generally, I've been featuring in the crypto industry, and currently I work as a director, as the African marketing manager at individual level for CoinW, which is a centralized exchange. I also nurture a team of developers who are looking to bridge into Web3, basically leading them into Solidity and some of the native Web3 development frameworks. And that's what I've been doing. And that's my side hustle at Memoir Africa, not so small side hustle. So my exposure to Bitcoin, first 2016, a friend had introduced me to Bitcoin. You could buy this. I think I wanted to create an account, a US account, and just put some fund there. And he said, no, you don't have to do that. There's something you could buy that can help you triple that money.
Ooh, triple your money.
So I asked, what's that? He said, let me just create the account. And then he did. And I funded it, got Bitcoin for as little as $800 then. And I had watched it grow to 2000. I think it was Coinbase. Yeah, that was my very first exposure. In fact, I didn't know what it was doing. I just trusted him enough to let him handle that transaction for me. And he did. And sent me all of the
You're going somewhere.
details. And then something really ugly happened. After the money my Bitcoin, of course, not just money, had moved to about 2000. I woke up one day and it was gone.
From
And
the Coinbase account.
yes, it was
Were you
gone.
the one managing the account?
Seriously, I don't know what happened. I had access to the account. Of course, I didn't understand the whole idea. I just knew that I'd check maybe once a week and it's still growing. And if it goes a bit lower, he said, don't worry, it will come up. So I was very confident I would really make a bulk out of that. I should have been very rich by now if that money had stayed. But just a little mismanagement here and there, because I'm not even sure two-factor authentication was done on that account. It simply disappeared. I have no idea where it went.
So you definitely have learned in a very hard way.
Yes. In fact, I left the industry after that because I was like, what really happened? Like, what did we just do? So I pulled out, stayed out for a very long time. It's since 2017 to 2019 before finding my way back to the industry, and I've stayed ever since.
Awesome. And have you been able to buy Bitcoin after
Of
that?
course, I have bought Bitcoin.
25. Point. I love that story. I'm going to come back to you. That's
Thank
very,
you.
very interesting. You know, I really like it when people share their Bitcoin story.
Yeah.
You know, their Bitcoin story is interesting when, you know, really it's beyond somebody trying to orange peel you. Bitcoin just, you know, wakes you up somehow, some way. It's either by you buying it and missing it or losing it, or by you experiencing what it's capable of. You know, I have my own story too. I'll share with you sometime. But let's hear your Bitcoin story real quick. For those that don't know you, you want to paint a quick background.
Yeah.
You know, maybe even shorter than hers.
Sure.
You know, but tell us some very exciting things about you that we don't know.
Let's see. So I'm a computer programmer. So I discovered Bitcoin from the site Slashdot, which is like a news for nerds kind of a tech aggregator site. And then I read about it. I really didn't understand what it was, but I knew it was something. Other people were putting their money into it. So I was like, let me try it. Let me figure it out. So I did buy early when it was like 80, but then, you know, of course, I didn't know what I was doing. So I lost it or traded it away or whatever.
Legendary mistake.
Yeah. So everybody, you know, makes that early mistake and then realizes the value and then starts to hold on to it a little tighter. So that's what I've been doing over the past couple years, and really just trying to convince myself, you know, learn the fundamentals of why this works, you know, what the real value of it is. And yeah, I'm convinced. And so
You're convinced.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you very much, Jonathan. See, it's very, very interesting when you can learn about money and learn about money in the most sincere way. You know, today, Nigeria's inflation is said to be at 28.5%. That's what MBS said, National Bureau of Statistics. But, you know, not to be hard on the Nigerian government, but we have kind of come to realize that when the government says the time is 2 p.m., you want to go straight to your window to go and check. It might be 7:30 p.m. or 9. So, you know, so inflation, I think, is about 35%, and it hurts us so much. Everything is expensive, right? It's crazy. And we work so hard, you know, we store our energy in the same debased naira that is pretty much basically backed by the US dollar. And the US dollar itself is experiencing debasements per second. And I'm glad I found Bitcoin. And now Pop Century has given the platform for us to also help people find more of this. But guess what? It's bigger than just finding Bitcoin. It's basically waking the entire country, Nigeria, up. You guys have heard that SEC, Security Exchange Commission of Nigeria, are updating the VASP guidelines. VASP is Virtual Asset Service Providers guideline. It's supposed to be licensing happening pretty soon, and crypto companies will be able to function properly like financial institutions, but not like financial institutions basically, but like crypto companies. You know, that's a new level of financial, right? I always say that in the next 5 years, by 2030 max, next 7 years, we're going to find crypto companies that will buy out banks. Binance was just 6 years when I realized that CZ was the 13th richest man in the world, and I saw the market cap. Yes, as far back as 2022, and I saw the market cap of
of Binance, I realized they could buy practically all the banks in Africa, almost all the businesses in Europe they can buy. So it's really a big deal, crypto for the world. And in Nigeria here, and this is my question to you, Monalisa. There's been the front and back, the government's trying to really give a playing field to the crypto entrepreneurs or crypto businesses in Nigeria. In 2021, there was a ban. You remember that the Mayfile came with that, boom, boom, bam. A few months after that, it launched the e-naira, boom. With a foreign company, the e-naira got hurt. They had to call another company, Interstellar. Shout out to Ernest and Victor. They worked on it. E-naira kind of failed. Today, I think they've partnered with another company trying to work on e-naira. That's the CBDC. Okay, accelerated to Tinubu's government. Shout out to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have a 10% CGT in the new Finance Act. So every time you dispose of your cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and the rest of them, you have to pay 10%, right? But the government basically don't know how to take that. But it's on the budget for 2024, hoping to generate revenue from that. Now, shortly after all of these progresses, December 2023, there was a huge announcement. The VASP guideline updated again, was out there, and the ban was lifted by Governor of Central Bank, Cardoso, right, the new governor, that banks can now process transactions for crypto businesses and crypto personnel. Crypto was never banned in Nigeria, but the processing of crypto through our financial institution was altered, officially by the Apex Bank. Today, one of the biggest at the time in Nigeria, and one of the biggest all over the world, I think the second largest, if not the most liquid, Binance, have exited the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Serious, painstaking exit to most players in the business. And the government, I think, is kind of happy about it, because I feel that the government is trying to sanitize Nigeria's monetary space. Now, I would like to know what your opinion is about this. That's why I painted you an holistic story. Do you think the government is sincere with what you're trying to work on? Do you think, my second question back to back, what the government is doing is being done, whether the right way or the wrong way, or it should be done at all? And what would be your suggestive solution if you were to profile one?
Okay, so each time we talk about this, I get a bit emotional. But this is not an emotional discussion. It's really something that we need to confront very honestly. I don't think these measures are the best. I understand the intentions may be good, I'll try it, but the way we're going about it, we are hurting ourselves. We are really hurting ourselves. So from the very first gesture we had about crypto, we understood then it could be some kind of miscommunication. It was really early and kind of taking up the wave here in Nigeria. And then they made that move to halt bank from directly transacting with crypto organization or processing crypto. I think it was understandable then. Like we wanted them to really explore beyond the surface value or what they think, how they think this might be interfering with the economy. But this most recent one was absolutely unnecessary. It's more like how do you put it? Trying to kill who you're trying to heal. So you first kill the person, then you'd have to wake the person back up. I think they could have simply, these things do not have to exist in isolation, like putting in regulatory frameworks to guide the evolving space and having to halt it completely and chase companies away and start all over again. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't show any sequential progress. It simply means, for instance, what just happened now, it's really not about Binance, in my opinion. It's about the local upcoming organizations who are developing products in that line. I know a ton of them, and they're going to receive the wave. Binance might just move on to other countries, figure out other markets, other products here and there, and just be good. But what about these companies that are still at incubation phases? The process of trying to pivot, it doesn't come cheap.
and it takes quite a lot of time. So it sets us back by 10 years, if you ask me. It wasn't
Wow.
the best approach.
Crazy. I love that submission, you know. And I like the way you painted it fairly. Uh, I'm not on the government side. I think it's too um, aggressive, but I also I'm of the school of thought that it should be an opportunity for uh, new entrants, local entrants, to express themselves, showcase what they can do. But the only problem is, just like you said, sending the wrong signal to the people that would have ordinarily, invested in the local, companies, and bring them up without proper policies put in place to cushion these guys when you take out the big market makers. Because I kind of think that it's 10-0 to Nigerian exchanges with Binance around. You know what I mean? Because they're more liquid than local exchanges. So it will be difficult for a local exchange not to also be a merchant under Binance. Many of the local exchange founders or P2P guys or over-the-counter players or business persons are not very they are not very independent. They have to go to Binance to go and get liquid. The policies in the bank and around cryptocurrency in Nigeria, it's not so friendly for you to be able to just buy $2 million worth of Bitcoin and put that in your reserve and be selling, and put your margin on it. You will still have to go and buy from the people that are closest to you that have. Although the way Binance entered into the country is completely illegal. There's no Nigerian business that will go to the US and do like that. You'll be behind bars today. That's why I can't really talk for CZ, you know what I mean? So, and the Nigerian laws is a carbon copy of Western law. So they watching what their senior counterparts are doing, and so they're going to do it right. And we need more money than the US anyway. So if you slam 10 billion on CZ, is either he pays or and the rest of them, the Binance things, either they pay or they exit. So I love the fact that that has happened, and good or bad, I think it's an opportunity for the homegrown businesses to step up, but the government must do it the right way. They must call all of us to a town hall, different from Bala Blue, like I always say. So we want to go on a break, but before we go on a break, I want you to give us your opinion about the whole thing happening very quickly.
Really, I think it's about people just not understanding what the potential, the power of Bitcoin is, and how they can use it, to their ends. And I think once more knowledge gets out, more experience comes out, then it'll become more accepted. So, in a nutshell.
Beautiful, beautiful. When we come back, because we have to go make some money, we'll get more immersive. Talk about how Bitcoin can change our lives, better the economy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, opportunities for developers. How do you grow your wealth? How do you become financially free? What are those things that should be happening? What should we be building? How do we build communities? In this space, we don't build customers, we build communities. The banks build customers. Here we build communities, we build people. We're very empathetic. It's about the people, right? Yeah, so sit back, relax, and don't go nowhere. Digital Asset Show. We'll be right back. We are back again, second half of the show, Digital Assets Show. Before we left off, I was going to ask Jonathan, what is Bitcoin to you?
Oh, that's a big question. I guess it depends how you look at it, but I would say Bitcoin first is an alternative. It's an option. It's some way to use money to be financially smart without the current system, without the fiat system, without the system that we've all grown up with. It's an alternative. So, primarily that's what I would say.
Awesome, awesome. Do you think Bitcoin can liberate Africa from this impoverishment that we are under? There's so much debasement going on in Africa, in all ramifications, even some of our mineral resources, and they're untapped, and some Western partners are milking it. Now, I'm not a racist and I'm not tribal, but this is Nigeria, the biggest black nation of the world. It's supposed to be the giants of Africa, and we are struggling with solidifying our our cryptocurrency blockchain industry. There is a national blockchain policy, but it hasn't taken off. There is a virtual asset service provider guidelines. The license have not been issued. There's there's no longer Binance in the country. People can't buy Bitcoin easily from a source that they kind of trust because Binance is a big company. They trusted Binance. USDT was the only way the average person can do cross-border remittance, pay for school fees, pay for health, have basic travel allowances without the stress that the financial institutions will give to you. Dollar was even difficult to buy, and now they've exited. Right or wrong, the players at home are nowhere to be found, including myself. I'm also a player. I don't have a license.
Yeah.
And without Bitcoin, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I have an exchange that I've at some point onboarded thousands, of users. Now we're rebuilding, but there is no platform to compete.
Yeah.
Now, what would be your suggestions and advice if you had the opportunity to just put down some words for the people at the ends of affairs, whether at SEC, whether at central bank, whether at the Federal Executive Council, where economic matters is being discussed?
You mean just as far as why somebody would use Bitcoin?
It's exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, certainly. Well, one of the first things you said was, or asked was, did I think that Bitcoin could lift the people out of poverty and so forth? And I absolutely. You have to take a long-term vision. It's not going to happen overnight, but if somebody was to have started buying Bitcoin 5 years ago and continue to dollar cost average and buy a little bit every day, they'd be doing pretty well right now, and that would lift. That is the kind of thing that's going to give people a foundation that they can build off of. So absolutely.
And is it too late for anybody to buy Bitcoin?
It's never too late. It's never too late.
People get worried. They say, "Oh, Bitcoin is $70,000 now. It's too expensive." I tell people.
People told me that when it was $10,000. It was like, "Oh, it's $10,000. We can't do it," and they wish now.
So DCA, dollar cost average, for those people that don't understand what he said, DCA means dollar cost average. In other words, you can buy Bitcoin small. So when you convert that dollar average cost in Nigeria is like $1 to the amount of naira to dollar. So you can be buying 1,500 naira worth of Bitcoin because that's the price of dollar today. Every day. By 365 days, you have $365 worth of BTC. You don't have to have $70,000 to buy Bitcoin. But what that does is it stores the value of that 1,500 naira and increases the value in the long term. Instead of that value losing its worth. Because if you put 1 million naira in the bank, for example, you put 1 million naira in the bank in 2010 when Bitcoin was practically not even up to $1. Let's say Bitcoin was 16 naira at the time, right? So I just imagine I bought one Bitcoin at 16 naira in 2010, 2009, and you had 1 million naira in the bank, and we both took a bet, and you kept it for 15 years. Today, your 1 million naira would have gone to zero if you look at the inflation rate month on month with bank deductibles. And today, I will have about 109 million naira cash. So think about it. Think about it very, very well. This is not MMM. This is not scam. This is something you need to learn about. I'm not a financial expert, but because of my own research, I can debunk myths and I can come with facts. Monalisa, tell me about the communities you're building and you're helping, especially the developers. That sparked my curiosity. I definitely know that Jonathan here would also be interested in that. What are the things you guys are working on? How do you discover these developers? How do you put these communities together? And what values have you been able to get out of this beautiful idea?
Okay, so I nurture developers with Memoir Africa. Memoir is basically onboarding developers, Web 2 developers, existing software developers into Web 3, getting them comfortable with the whole agenda, getting them up to speed with Rust, Solidity, and several other unique Web 3 languages.
And you guys are here in Nigeria.
And yeah, so
Beautiful.
we are here in Nigeria. In fact, we have over 40% of our community coming from Nigeria.
Wow.
But we have a database of over 5,000 developers currently.
Talented
And
people in this country.
yes, and we have over 13 different countries, the last count. We have people from Kenya, we have Nigeria, we have Uganda, we have Ethiopia, Rwanda, and all of those places. So what we are trying to do is to bring Africans to the forefront instead of just watching like who developed Bitcoin, what's the next innovation you can drive in Web 3, how can you come in, what's unique about what problems that are unique to Africa can you solve. So that's what we are doing, and we took a community first approach. So we are not just one other developer edtech out there. We are extremely community driven, which is one of the strongest ethos of Web 3, as it were. And what that helps us do is to basically nurture people. So whether you're at ground 1 or you're at ground 4 or 0, whichever way we find you, we just help you kind of build up your knowledge and begin to build. So it's not just educating and just pouring in knowledge and information on people. We try to get them to start building, to start experimenting, to start creating. And what we are totally out and about to do is to get people to be builders, not spectators, not consumers, whatever it is. We get people at the forefront. How can you use these existing technologies to drive solutions, real life solutions, real life use cases? Yes, for Africa and for Nigeria. How can we use this to better our economy, our social systems, and everything in between? So that's the journey we've been on. So far, we've had our cohort 1, cohort 2, Solidity, full stack Web 3 engineering, and we just continuing on that lane. We have our event, developer, deep technical, not the usual Web 3 event, but this time a unique developer kind of conference that speaks to access to investments for those who are actually building Web 3 products in Africa.
Good.
Helping.
Because, keep your thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm still going to,
Okay.
I'm going there.
Okay.
Funding. Because when you're developing people's capacity, right, one of the biggest problems is platform for expression. You might develop my capacity, and then I have an idea. How do I get lifted from just idea into, creating a product? Some people write codes, but can they put together other team members? How do I incentivize my team members beyond my equity? How do I get somebody who is quite talented in an area that I can't really function well to participate in this long dream of mine that can eventually make all of us successful and create impact in people's lives? So how do you have a program that kind of incentivize talented individuals or group of people? And now be very careful of running ads. So just talk about the beautiful things that you guys are doing. Stop mentioning your company name before I tell my producer to send you people receipts or an invoice.
So we've put all of that thought into the big picture, right? We didn't start out wanting to link up to accelerators and stuff and international investment organization, but we found the need for that, and we are doing exactly that. So now people come together, create products. Some already have products that they've advanced, they've pushed into the market, but they don't have the liquidity to actually make it float. So what we do with some of our programs, especially for those who've been on our hackathons, because we do quite a lot of hackathons, we create synergies between them and funders like VCs and investors who are targeting to come into the African market, of course, Web3 focused VCs, who can then look into these products and explore the opportunities of investing in them. So yes, we've linked up to currently we have a database of over 25 accelerators that are coming into.
I hope they are not accelerators that collect money from founders.
No, not necessarily. So as far, and one other thing that maybe we'll get to that point of the discussion is actually being able to build real life solutions, which is an endemic Web3 problem. I've been in Web3. Of course, I feature at the go-to-market front, so I understand how sometimes these products can be disconnected from real life situations.
So exciting to the developers, but really not impacting lives.
They are futuristic products that are looking for users. So what we also do is to help them harness and kind of organize their thoughts around real life utility, so you're not just burning your midnight candle for nothing.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Let's leave it at that for now. Mr. Jonathan, coming to Africa, coming to Nigeria the first time, we were talking before now, and you said you really love the place. What would you like to see happen to the industry when it comes to acceptance of Bitcoin? What are the things you had in mind coming, and now that you're here, having a feeler of the economy, are you looking at, playing an impactful role? Of course, you're a programmer. One of the things I haven't said right here, but many people know, people that have been watching the show, is I also, I train kids in Bitcoin education, and I train people. And we are having a halving event, the first ever halving event in Nigeria here on Monday, 22nd of April. So, and like Monalisa, intentionally developing human capacity. So when we see people like you, who have come of age and has an experience coming from where we all like to jackpot to. You know what I mean by jackpot?
I know jackpot, yeah.
When we see that, we begin to think of what value is this person bringing. Only when you speak, people will know that you're from the U.S. But seeing you're African. You're my Nigerian brother seeing you now. And you said you're 40% Nigerian.
40%.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So paint me a picture of what's running through your mind as you're feeling Nigeria when it comes to Bitcoin, blockchain, and doing business here, or impacting life, or partnering with people, whatever it is. And if that's not it, let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah. So really, what I see is people who, through no fault of their own, are struggling. They already have to work hard on a day-to-day basis to make ends meet. It's a constant struggle, and then just through no fault of their own, it just gets that much harder. It gets 3 times harder. You said like 34% inflation in a year. That's just ridiculous.
They say it's 28, 29, but we know what it is.
Even that is still ridiculous. So, I mean, what I see for Bitcoin is it is that alternative. It is that something else that they can do to the people can do to store the value of their labor. And so people need to understand why that is and how to go about using it. And so really when I look at all of this out here, I think the first thing is, or what would be a good thing is education. Like figuring some way to bring it to the people and get them to understand and to trust. And yeah, once that starts to happen, then the ball will start to roll. And so really what I want to do as a programmer is to create applications, programs, help teach other people, that kind of thing, to let them, to use what I can do to bring them to that point, to bring them to that understanding that I have right now. So,
beautiful.
That you have and we all have.
Yeah, thank you very much. Technology can change the world. That's basically what we're using to impact our lives positively. Some people will say Bretton Woods Agreement is where the biggest scam started. When President Nixon, former president of the United States, took the dollar of the gold standard and everything, and everything became through paper money.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if Nigerians have ever woken up to say, where are the Nigerian gold for real? I don't know, like what's happening in some parts of Africa now, where France is being chased out and said, look, we're not doing business with you no more. Do you think that should that be an awakening for Africa, motherland, and say, our currency shouldn't be backed by the dollar. We have the oil. We have this. You see what's going on with BRICS. Should that be? Should we continue to say we are chasing the dollar? Everybody in Nigeria, if you don't have the dollar, then your naira is useless. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the economy is dollarized. Without you seeing paper dollar everywhere, the economy is actually dollarized.
Yeah.
So, I'll land my question saying, is it honest for Africa to continue to back its economy by the dollar, knowing well the entire political scenario of the U.S.? You see what's happening right now. A lot of things are being unveiled, but the U.S. Are the master of the media game, and the world has been. I'm trying to be very careful with my word, but I'll use the right word, manipulated for so long to believe some certain things, such that the most intelligent people find it difficult to even be awakened to what Bitcoin truly is and what digital assets can do. Truly, digital assets is changing life. This is a very educated young lady. Look at yourself. Look at me. And some people still think it's for scammy things, whereas fiat paper money has experienced more scam, more fraudulent engagement has happened, even in cash, etc., in that space. Do you think Africa should continue to look in that direction of if it's not backed by the dollar, if the dollar is not saying this is good, then we shouldn't do it? Or shouldn't we rather start looking elsewhere, looking internally, or creating our future with technologies of now and the future?
Well, yeah, certainly. I think that obviously, I think governments and so forth should start using Bitcoin. When you look at African governments and how they have depended on the dollar over the past 60 plus years, I mean, you can see where we're at right now. I mean, we've already run that experiment.
It's not working. Why are we continuing to do the same thing that's not working?
Right. And especially, if you can get people an understanding of what Bitcoin is and how, I mean, people kind of, I think they're scared that it's going to change, that it is, maybe it's a good idea right now, but what if it changes in the future?
15 years down the line.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed yet.
Right. And people don't want to, they don't want to go through that. They don't want to take that risk. But when people, can look at the code and the process of how Bitcoin works, you understand that it's just an idea. It's an idea that everybody agrees on, and the only time that idea is going to change is when everybody agrees that idea is beneficial, when that change is beneficial. And if everybody doesn't agree, then it's not going to change. Even if they do change it, you can still continue to use the current version, the current idea. And so I think once people understand that it is stable, it's not going to change, then they'll start to have more trust in it and then be more likely to use it in place.
I love how you have spoken in a layman's term, defining Bitcoin protocol and how it works. I love it. I can hear you clearly without too much mathematical and technological jargons.
Yeah.
So 21 million Bitcoins, can they ever be 22?
Never.
Why is that?
Because the people who hold Bitcoin right now would not agree to use that system where there were 22 million. They would not want to dilute their own holdings. So nobody's going to agree to do that, so it would never happen.
Beautiful. Bitcoin is finite money.
Yeah.
The only money that is truly finite. That's the pie guy. have a Pi guy in the studio. When his phone ring, it's most likely an alert from Pi Network. I told him to throw the phone away. And Pi Bitcoin.
We have to
He's
meet
a
after the
shitcoiner. He's
show.
my guy. So we're on the lighter mode. People get scared of Bitcoin so freaking much because they hear, oh, Bitcoin goes down, Bitcoin goes up. I tell them it's the fiat paper money that fluctuates, not Bitcoin that really does
That's
that.
true. That's true.
I mean,
And you have to keep that long-term point of view. But that's a great point.
absolutely, you can't buy a land today and want that land to be worth 10x next tomorrow.
Right. Or to, be your house that you can live in, right away. You got to let that land develop and build up.
You know what I mean? And then when it becomes so much value, do you want to throw it away, or you want to kind of maximize it, build something on top of it, maybe monetize the front part of the house? So you can cut a little bit of the house and sell, or you don't want to sell everything and be landless. You know. So that's why I'm all for layer 2. But I think that's another day's discussion.
Another conversation.
Because. Maximizing the things you can do with Bitcoin for the Nigerian economy, like she was saying, intentionally allowing developers or builders work on stuff that can impact our people. And let me come back to you, Monalisa. If you had the opportunity to speak with somebody at SEC, the governor of Central Bank, people at the Arms of Affairs, or somebody that has so much funding and is willing and they are ready to take a decision, and you are in this space right now, live and direct, you want to look into that camera and paint them a picture. You have 60 seconds of exactly what you think can work. You want to educate them, you want to assure them, and you want to actually take the risk with them. At the same time, putting that fair due diligence, risk management template in there, so people hear you, and then they can take that home as something to nurture in their minds.
Okay, so there are two things I'd like them to look into. One is education, right? The second one is funding. So instead of opposing the system and causing more confusion, why not support the system by investing in education? I mean, I was the most glad person when I saw the whole blockchain policy being passed into law. I was so excited, but it seems we are derailing gradually. Can we fall back on that policy, look closely into it, and see how we can begin to implement it and have a long-term plan? What we should be aiming is to get more builders to come out of Africa, to come out of Nigeria, and not necessarily opposing the ones who are making natural, consistent effort to actually be a part of that system. If we can position ourselves to not just be consumers in the industry, like Bitcoin is there are lots of technologies we can build around it. There are lots of technologies that we can source from within that can come out of Africa. But with this current back and forth trend, it's completely discouraging. So if we can fall back on that policy and begin to develop it and run consistently with it over a long period of time, it will impact the economy more positively than this current trend.
Wow, well said. I love that. I won't let you go without asking you about women in the space. Yesterday was International Women's Day, so congratulations. We're still celebrating it, because women are producers. We respect you so much. And when I see a woman that is doing awesome like this, it's only to give you a platform of expression. So I can hear brilliance in every word that you have dropped here. I definitely would love to bring you back. I really appreciate your coming to the show. But I want to know how you're thinking about women participation in this space. Do you think we have enough women? Since you got into this space, have you seen counterparts like you doing awesomely well, or just a few here and there? You have just about 30 seconds.
I think a lot has changed since when I joined in 2019. I've seen new faces, really energetic ones and smart ones, but I think we can do a lot more. I think we can push ourselves more. I think we can, without waiting for anybody. I mean, you're a woman, and while there are lots of challenges in your path to being a woman, there are also lots of supports, right? You can leverage those supports and begin to push yourself towards more. raise your voice, not shout, but raise your voice. Let people know.
Raise them.
Let people know you are in the space, and while at it, do good work, right? Do not just be, oh, I'm a woman, so I should be giving a space. I have earned my space. I have earned my space, and I think every woman coming in should consider putting in a lot of work into improving themselves and becoming the best possible version of themselves. It's really rewarding.
Wow, it's really rewarding for real, and Bitcoin has been also only rewarding for me. I'm not gonna lie, it's really impacted my life so much. Because Bitcoin is not paper money, you can't print more Bitcoin, and then there's going to be an halving, maybe 21st, 20th, 22nd of April. The block subsidy and the reward for miners will be cut in half. It used to be 6.25, and then by April going forward is going to be 3.125, which is going to help strengthen Bitcoin and increase the value overall, because whatever is scarce, that is getting scarcer, will even have bigger demands because it has so much value, and then the price increases. So if you think you've been hurt somehow, some way by the money you earn, and that's because you put it in the bank, you get debased, inflation eats it up here and there, you invest in things, those things really grow. On this show, when you call me and you are not giving me money, please, I will cut your call. You really want to read about Bitcoin, get Bitcoin education, and learn from it. As we round up, when we're doing something positive, time flies, and this is airtime. It's not free, unlike the internet that we can just quickly just buy our time. So much scrutiny to get on here. But thank you all for coming. I really thank you, Mr. Jonathan. But I want you to, I won't let you go without your last words. How much longer do you have here? And do you first of all, how much longer do you have here?
So I'll be here for about another week.
Okay. Okay, good. And are you already thinking of coming back?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Especially if certain things don't happen in November. I'll be on my way back.
All right, maybe we'll talk about that after the show. And can you speak any of our language yet?
I can say how far.
How you did? How far now?
Yeah. No wahala.
No wahala. No wahala. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Do you have a Nigerian name yet?
No, not yet.
There's a popular YouTuber in America that just came. His name is Kyson. Yeah, one of the popular Gen Z.
Yeah.
Just came into the country too today with some Nigerian social media stars like that. So a lot of people are coming in here. They're coming in to discover the motherland.
Yeah.
Or the fatherland.
It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. I'm sorry it took so long to get here, but it's. I'm glad I'm here now for sure.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful place. I mean, Nigeria is not a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. I love my country, Nigeria. We invite you all to come. Thank you all for coming to DAS. 22nd of April is our Alvin event. On a Monday, very, very serious event. You want to come here and learn about Bitcoin. Please find the Alvin event online. Google it and type Bitcoin halving event in Nigeria. You will find it. It's happening here live at Pop House, Pop Central. It's the first and the only of its kind. Come and learn about Bitcoin. A massive 2, 3, 4 hours straight Bitcoin education. We're going to have people from different parts of work of life, policy makers, financial institution, market women, BDCs, special people like Monalisa, and of course, maybe not. We're going to have Mr. Jonathan virtually. We'll see. And you'll learn a lot. The show has come to an end. I remain Oluwasegun. Bitcoin is still 7. How much? After 1 hour. Let's check how much you see before we go. Let's see if we are getting richer. Okay, we dropped a little bit. It's all right. It's not bad. But better than gold, better than real estate, better than S&P 500, better than anything that you have invested in. There is no business in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that has given the turnover that Bitcoin has given to me and to everybody that's bought Bitcoin. And on that note, I'll leave it like that. Jai yourself. 13 straight episode. Thank you. We made it. 1 full quarter. We'll see you as soon as the next quarters begin next week. Udabo.